guess what today is? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. Thanks for sticking with me. But today, you already know, it's a 100-day countdown, guys. A 100-day countdown to when I get my keys to my first house. You guys already know it's taken a long time, and I am not exaggerating when I say it's a long time. You've been on this journey with me. I want you to continue on this journey with me because I've got a lot of fun stuff coming, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes, sneak peek throughout the whole process. I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of what to do when building a new home, custom home, whatever you want to call it. But it's important to know these details because it could save you a lot of money and stress in the long run, because buying a house is stressful already. But before I do that, I need you guys to gently tap that subscribe button. Do it wherever it's at. Tap it. Follow this journey with me. I gotta go to work right now because I gotta pay for this house. So, we'll be back. Finished up with work, but I want to give you a little sneak peek of where my house is right now. It's a 100-day countdown till I get my keys. 100 days. And I already live in the neighborhood. It's beautiful out here. So let's just see what we got in store. Hopefully they should be doing some work today. Last I saw it, they were finishing up on electrical. So maybe we got some sheetrock. We shall see. Well, there it is. And if you're wondering why all these houses are all completed and moved in, we'll talk about that subject on another day. Doesn't look like they've done any sheetrock or anything new. But let's go back and I'm going to update you guys on what to look out for, what main things to notice, and maybe some things that could save you some money too. Check it out. Alright, so I'm home, finished up with work. We checked on the house, kind of saw the progress. Maybe this week we'll get sheetrock. But back to what we were talking about. So, some do's and don'ts of new construction. Now, some of you probably have gone through the process. I've done this for a long time. It's going on 15 years now. So maybe I can help you out with some little info that could probably save you some money. So the first thing I always tell people is know what you want. Now, you're going to say, how do I know what I want? I got to see like a million models. Yeah, you almost do. You kind of know already what you want, but by seeing multiple builders and models and floor plans, it's going to really set in with you what you're needing and what you're looking for. So the few questions that I ask buyers and prospective buyers are you going to stay in this house forever? Is this your forever home? Are you going to sell it in 2 or 3 years? The area that you want to be in, how big your family is. Those kind of things are going to determine like bedroom, bathrooms, square footage, possibly location that you want to be in. Is it close to work? Are you relocating? Things like that. So when you narrow that down, you're going to be able to find one that really works for you. Now, I saw a bunch of different models, and after I saw the model that I'm getting, really after that, nothing really appealed to me. And trust me, I tried to find something after that just because of the whole process, but I still fell in love with it. The other thing I always tell people is, like, when you're doing this whole process, just really going through the financing side of it is helpful, right? Because knowing what you know and how much you can qualify for can really help you narrow things down. You might be on that, champagne budget. You might be on that beer budget. But you don't know until you actually figure out and run your credit and they do like a quick analysis. I used Michelle from Opes Advisors. She's super cool. I'll put her info link down below. I've had a really smooth process with her and she's really easy to work with, so I definitely would recommend her to anybody. But do your research, figure out what to do, run your credit, and see what you could afford. That's the main thing, right? You just want to make sure you're comfortable with, don't just settle for no's. With builders and custom options, now I'm building a custom home in what is considered a semi-custom development. Now some of the options, I'm sure that they would tell anybody no, and maybe I got some of the options because I used to previously work there. However, even if I didn't work there, I would still request these options because I know that for me they were value added and it was what I wanted in the home. I didn't want to settle because I knew what I was looking for and I knew the type of floor plan that I wanted. So I was willing to get those things done with the builder, because here's the second part. You've got to weigh out what you want to do versus doing it with the builder and later. If you're trying to renovate a bathroom or make a room into a different room and taking down walls, that's going to be way, way more costly than you think it will in the long run. So if you can get those things done with the builder, you're going to save yourself a little bit of money and hassle and just visiting your house. I can't stress this enough. Visit your house as often as you can. And why I say that is, if you're building a custom home, and believe me, you're going to want to take pictures, tons of pictures and videos, because you want to know where your studs are, where plumbing is, where gas lines are. Because if you do anything after, and you drill a hole in the wall, and you pop that pipe, you're going to have big problems later. So visiting your house as often as you can really, really limits those kind of things later on. Because one, if you're doing custom stuff like I did, you're able to kind of take note and see if the builder is doing it right, because nobody's perfect and they're gonna do stuff wrong. Regardless if it's in your paperwork or not, we all know that they don't read the paperwork. So just kind of going through that, I try to go as often as I can. The second part to going as often as you can, know your contract. Read it thoroughly, maybe have a third party look into it, so that if the builder comes back and says you don't have access to the property, or you can't go to the property, or you're limited to so-and-so visits to the property, you can make sure that you have a rebuttal to that. And knowing your contract inside and out and thoroughly reviewing those things will prevent a lot of headaches for you too. Because a lot of the time what I've noticed is they almost kind of just go with their own flow and make up rules. But if you're knowledgeable about your contract, the process, you can have a leg to stand on. And that's the important thing. You want to make sure that even if you're a first-time home buyer, and by the way, I'm a first-time home buyer, they should know that you're knowledgeable. Just because you're a first-time home buyer doesn't mean you don't know anything. Far, far from the truth. Another thing that is kind of like a misconception is once you get qualified for a loan, and I've thought about it myself, you're like, oh, hey, my credit's really good. Or, my ratios are really good. I'm going to go buy some furniture. I'm going to go get a new car. Don't do that. Don't do anything big until your house closes. And why I say that is, you don't want anything to change your ratios, your underwriting process. Then that gives you a headache, and it could potentially put you in a position where you no longer qualify. Now you're out all that money that you put down on options or deposits for what? you don't even know the time frame of when your house is going to be done. So for me, I bought little stuff here and there for like the kitchen or little knickknacks, but I avoided buying anything major like sofas or furniture or appliances or anything crazy. And you guys all know I love cars, so I've been really holding back on that one because I'm trying to get my new one after the house closes. But don't do it. Don't do it till it's done. It's so much better to just wait. A point of really importance is walkthroughs. You know, most builders will do what they call like a pre-sheetrock walkthrough. That's generally walking through your house when electrical's all done and before they install sheetrock, so that you can get an idea of where all the electrical items are to make sure it's correct before they sheetrock. Now, some builders and some product lines that they have, they won't even let you do an electrical walkthrough. I highly recommend you tell your sales agent you want one. Again, the importance, and I can't stress it enough, of knowing where all your electrical is before they sheetrock is going to prevent a lot of stuff for them to fix after and for you to worry about later. So do your pre-sheet walkthrough. You're also going to get a walkthrough kind of towards the end. You're definitely going to make sure to do that maybe 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, before you close, so that anything major, you can kind of note it with them, just so they can fix it. Usually they give you a couple weeks. You do one walkthrough, then the week after that, you do what's called your final walkthrough. So what I'm doing is, in lieu of my walkthrough, I'm going to have kind of like a third party, like a professional inspector, inspect it. Now, I know it's new construction, and relatively you should have peace of mind of knowing everything's done. But because I know the process and I want to protect myself, I think it's better to have an independent person look at everything, because I'm not going to know how the roof sits, if all my electrical is working correctly. And by having a third party kind of do that, gives you peace of mind. Yeah, it's this extra money to spend, but it's well worth it. So I highly recommend doing that and kind of making sure you do that before your final walkthrough, so that the builder has an opportunity to fix those things for you. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Gently tap that like button, subscribe. Make sure you follow it. I'm going to follow up with more videos related to this topic, related to some fun stuff, because you all know how my family's pretty crazy. So stay in the loop, subscribe, make sure you like, comment on this video, and let me know what other videos you want me to do. Peace.